Hello.
Hello.
We are trying to look more professional. We don't know if we're succeeding.
Not with this fucking hair, man. Not at this stage. My
No,
shit is
I'm
crazy.
I'm catching up to you a little bit, you know?
As okay, look at this shit. This is, and if I don't try to if I actually look at this is madness. This is madness.
But you don't
I'm hoping at
understand.
some
Like,
point it comes into the rest, but
I can
this is
actually like get
nuts.
full hair out, and it actually stays out. I haven't had that since like year one.
Wow.
of doing
Well, there
this
you go. MTCN year one, a new series. Actually, if I change what's on my TV, I can change the anyway. So why don't we tell the people what they've won?
Yeah, this is the one where it's like, well, this movie was supposed to come out in theaters, and we were supposed to go see it, so now we might as well talk about it on Netflix.
Yeah, why not? And let's see, this was the Lovebirds, directed by that's brighter. Okay, directed by Michael Showalter, which I did not know. I was not really anticipating this until I saw Michael Showalter. I'm kind of an old fan of his. I can't say I've really strongly followed his work, but if I see, basically, if I see that anyone from Stella is involved in anything, I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have favorite reference for Stella.
It was Michael, David, and David. I mean, Michael, and David. So he was one of the Michaels.
My people are represented.
Yeah. So when I saw that at the beginning of this movie, my expectations for it immediately got better, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Me too. I actually had a fun time with this.
Yeah, it was a consistently funny movie. I really did not expect it to be as funny as it was, as consistently as it was.
Yeah, like it really boils down to just the two main characters just have really good chemistry with each other, and they do have they are pretty much the entire source of the laughs.
Yeah, they play well off of each other, and they the parts that are clearly improvised a little bit, they land. They're all right. They chose good takes to go with.
It's nice we actually get we let comedians do improv that actually know how to do good improv, rather than say Anchorman.
What was it, the interrogation scene? When they just kept going, and we're like, they're just gonna let them keep going, and what they're saying is just gonna get dumber. It worked. It was there's a certain kind of comedy that it's funny for a second, and then it gets really stupid, and then if you stick to it a little longer, it gets funny again. And they managed to get that timing down right, and they don't do it so often that it gets irritating or something. Like it's a well-paced movie.
Again, surprisingly, given this could have easily been just a throwaway film, and it still kind of is. But it has redeemable values that make it still worth watching.
Yeah, the trailer I saw, the clip I saw, they did not intrigue me, and they did not showcase the strong points of the movie, at all. I thought this was going to be that was decent. No, this was a pretty solid movie. It's a solid 7 at least.
Yeah, you I remember I was trying to convince you to watch this, and you were like, "Can we watch literally anything else?"
I was like, "I don't want to. It looks boring." But no, I was wrong. I was very wrong. I had a great time watching this. And Issa Rae,
what was that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, point out Issa Rae, who I'm not very familiar with her filmography. Have you seen her in a lot of things?
No, I just saw her on Insecure, which I watched the first episode or two of, and I found the main character kind of irritating, so I kind of stopped. I heard that that's kind of the point, and she gets better as a person as the show goes on, but I have yet to check it back out, mostly because I don't want to pay for HBO. But yeah, so. But no, she's. I mean, as a person, she's definitely respectable. She's someone who just got her own show on HBO and did so well with it and made such an impression on people that it launched her career. And she did it on the strength of her writing and her creativity and her acting, and that's really respectable.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So I can't say that I've seen her properly in anything yet, but I was really surprised by how easily likable she was, even when they were bickering and she was doing unlikable things.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me want to go through her filmography. It's like, what else has this woman done? She hasn't done much. I just looked at her IMDb page. Outside of Insecure, she like had a role in BoJack Horseman.
Everyone's had a role in BoJack Horseman.
Not like a big role, like a little role. It's like in one episode.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's had a little role in BoJack Horseman, even if it's just playing themselves.
Even Patton Oswalt got like 5 parts in that show. They could have given her 2. So all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Patton Oswalt had like maybe 2 or 3 lines at a time, like an episode at a time per season, maybe. Less so as the show went on. But anyway, Issa Rae, very good in this movie, and she definitely, you can definitely tell that the chemistry in this, like when I saw this, like from the clips I saw, I was like, oh, is this going to be like Stuber?
Yeah.
He's in a car and he gets his car hijacked for some kind of bullshit like cop chase thing, and I really honestly expected something along those lines, and it was very much not. It
shares some like elements of Stuber, mostly like kind of like in tone and kind of like where the plot beats a little bit. But this is like way better than Stuber. Like I kind of way more out of this than Stuber. I also feel like this movie isn't trying to be like as deep and commentary as Stuber is trying to be.
Yeah,
and that's to the movie's benefit. It's just about like, hey, here's a relationship. Here's some relationship things. Here's like, hey, here's a funny moment. Here's something that's kind of surprisingly real. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's not a deep movie at all, but it is. No. It knows what it is, and it plays it very well. And it has a lot of fun with the comedy, and it's fun to watch, and it has its sweet moments, and at the same time, it doesn't go too deep and dark into that. Like, it doesn't get too heavy with the relationship elements, even though they are a central theme throughout the movie. A lot of the time, it's just the two of them. Like, it's not like they hate each other. It's just their relationship isn't really working out. So when they get thrown onto this life or death situation, it's not like they're going to fuck each other over. They're just working together like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just trying to figure it out. And it's great.
Yeah. Like, it's probably a short review because, like, otherwise, most of the time it's like, yeah, this is, like, so considering we had no expectations going into this.
I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. Like I said, like, I don't know if I ever watch this movie again. It's kind of one of those, like, okay, I'm glad I saw it. Like, I'm never really want to watch it again. But, like,
I'm glad it's on Netflix.
Yeah, like, for an hour and a half movie, he's like, yeah, it's perfectly serviceable. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's fun. Like you go there for the chemistry between the two main characters, and you get what you guess kind of pay for.
It works as a date movie. It works as just a comedy on its own. Like, it has a good broad appeal. Definitely worthwhile. I enjoyed it a lot. So, I mean, that's really it.
I haven't had to review this small since we did Mordecai.
Oh, God.
That was 5 minutes of me going, I'm fucking done, and that was it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, clearly we have more to say about things when we have things to complain about. Because then we can get into specifics about, like, this bothered me. But, like, if I like something, it generally tends to be a good thematic theme through the movie. And there were a couple of lines that landed really well. Like, there's a couple of racial and gender politic things thrown in there that are not overbearing, but they're just, like, they're used in a funny way. Like, there's one part where she tries to open a door and it's locked. And he leans in and he tries to open the door. And she turns and looks at him and she's like, did you think it was one of those men-only doors? Like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, you're right, sorry. And that was it. Like, it was light, it was breezy, he owned it. Like, it wasn't some really intense, heavy thing. Like, it was fun and funny. That was it.
I think it really, if I was have a complaints necessarily, even though, like, they're only complaints, just things that didn't work as well for me. It's more, I guess I feel like whenever it's not focused on these two characters, it has the other characters talking. It's kind of when it starts to lose a little steam.
I don't know. Some of the other characters were pretty funny. Like the two weird like hipsters that find them in the alley.
Hipsters were great.
Those guys were pretty good.
Hipsters. But it's more like
occasional other good, and I like near the end when when the other cops are talking.
Oh yeah, that was a fun
that whole
bit
situation
part.
was great.
That was a fun little bit part. I like them. I hope they stay together.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like when the villain has a monologue towards the end.
Well, of course, but that's, you know, as far as movies like this go, I don't really expect anything more from it than that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Like it as far as like as the individual scenes are unpredictable enough in terms of the elements there, but the general flow of the movie is like the overarching plot line and character arcs and the order of events or whatever. It's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty straightforward and cookie cutter. But I think what's impressive about it is that it shows that you can have a movie that has predictable overall plot elements that can still do really well with the details of, you know, the dialogue that comes in between and the characters you throw in there and the chemistry between them. It does, like, I find that pretty significant on its own.
And that's a very good point too. That's something that I've been kind of saying for a long time. It was like, oh, there's no original ideas or anything like that. It's like you don't
need an original idea.
Like, you can do an idea that's been done to death, but if you do it well, then like you can still you can forgive the fact that like, okay, I've seen this movie before.
Simpsons did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's more like in case of a movie like this, like all you gotta do is make the main characters likable. If the characters are likable, we're willing to deal with other kinds
of dialogue fun.
Yeah, and like that goes same goes for like Game Night, which I think I liked a lot more than you did.
I enjoyed Game Night. We didn't review it. I watched that on my own later because it was just available for streaming on something. I was like, I like these people. I'll watch this movie, and I fucking loved it. I really enjoyed that movie.
I mentioned it earlier. You said it was just okay, so I misinterpreted.
No. I said that the soundtrack was very similar.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Because Game Night had a very jarringly out of place, heavy 80s synth soundtrack. It belonged in some tech noir thriller or something. And I really liked the soundtrack. I just found it really weirdly out of place. And this movie early on, there's a soundtrack beat that hits, and I'm like, this is weirdly 80s synthy for this kind of scene. I don't know. I noticed it, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. It was just weird.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think another thing about this movie too is the fact that I usually don't go for these kind of comedies too, which is why I think that works for me is actually even all the more impressive.
Yeah.
Because I usually kind of hate the slapstick, nobody shuts the fuck up ever kind of.
This also wasn't that slapsticky. It was.
The trailer made it look a lot more slapsticky.
Yeah, that's the thing. This had a bad trailer, man. This had a bad PR campaign, and I really think that it could have done better if they were willing to show more about the movie and actually showcase the part, what about the movie is actually good, which is the relationship between the characters and the weird dialogue that comes up here and there. And
the two main characters actually felt like characters, which I also appreciate too.
Yeah.
Again, compared to a lot of movies like this, where it's it's Will Ferrell doing Will Ferrell things.
Well, I think it's the fact that they had archetypes, but they weren't the archetypes. You know what I mean? The archetypes were just traits of the characters, and they felt like real people outside of that. They weren't leaning into, oh, I'm this thing, so I have to be this thing 150% all of the time to a point where it's irritating and it erases any other humanity that the character has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you buy their relationship. You buy that they have struggles, and that kind of helps.
You buy their relationship, and you also buy their characters outside of some one-dimensional, oh, you're this kind of person. They're complex. And the things that they kind of don't like about each other at the beginning, the relationship problems they've had, it really does feel like valid incompatibility on a certain level. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to be on one person's side or the other. It just really feels like different people.
And there's just enough truth to it without being overbearing or too close to home.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of go, oh, I've had that discussion, or I've had that argument.
Yeah.
So there's just enough truth in there to help you get invested without being overbearing or turn into this hardcore Marriage Story-esque drama.
Yeah. So
yeah, got a lot of really good balance.
Yeah. Definitely worth your time, especially if you already have Netflix. What have you got to lose?
Yeah, right.
It's an hour and a half, and it's I can recommend it definitely. So
yeah, and yeah, I think that's all the main points I really wanted to cover with this movie.
Yeah.
I surprisingly liked it.
Same. Both of us went into it not expecting to like it that much, and both of us came out of it like genuinely surprised as to how much we liked it. So take that for what you will.
You liked the thing. It's weird that we like this one more than like the the fucking indie teen drama.
I know How to Build a Girl could have been so much better. Although How to Build a Girl really does have the exact problems that we're saying this one kind of circumvented.
Yeah, right?
None of the characters in that were anything more than the archetypes than they were originally set as. They did not feel like fleshed out real characters. They were just what they were doing at that time.
Look at me, I'm quirky. You know, that kind of.
No, but like, what was her dad? Just what he was. Like, he was just an archetype. Her brother was an archetype. Her mom was an archetype. Like, even the employees at the review company, they were archetypes, and they were nothing more than that. They didn't feel like anything more than that. So yeah, this movie definitely pulled off that side of things where it's like it didn't fall into that trap.
Absolutely, no, I completely agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it.
So this is the last of the was originally going to be in theaters and is now going to a streaming service until Artemis Fowl comes out. So we can, at this point for the next couple of weeks, whenever Artemis Fowl,
it's perfectly good time to start jumping into like the indie backlog or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, so for the next couple of weeks, we get to watch basically whatever we want.
See, that you can definitely expect me to be there even more for. Because I have some stuff that I would like to show. I would really want to talk about Visioneers, dude.
Oh God.
Do you remember enough about that?
It was a while ago, but I remember how I felt at the time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you can rewatch it if you want, but I think that's a good thing to start with. But yeah, we'll figure out some things to watch, and
so we'll have some stuff
keep
for you
content
guys
coming
to watch. I did manage to put the latest editorial finally back in production after like 2 months hiatus.
I saw the bear was up.
Well, that's been up for. I managed to put that up before the hiatus kicked in, and then my budget dried up because my weekend job was shot all to hell. But thankfully, I have a friend who's willing to help out the new one, which is about Saga. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah,
I've read the first like 3 TPBs of that.
Oh, dude, you gotta get the full series. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's all we got for now. We'll see. We'll watch something later.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Meantime, thank you guys for watching. See y'all later. Awkwardly turn off recording.